Hello to all my friends, welcome once again to the channel. Today I am going to talk about a very important concept which you come across in structural equation modeling known as mediation. So let us first quickly understand what do you mean by mediation, and then I am going to talk about what is moderation as well. So together we'll understand that what is the difference between mediation and moderation. With help of a simple example I'll make you understand. Say in case you have an independent variable IV and then it affects the mediator, we call it mediating variable, and finally there's a dv dependent variable. So in this triangular conceptual model, path model, you see that there is one direct effect. This is known as direct effect from independent variable to dependent variable. And when I see the indirect effect upon dependent variable, it is transferred through this mediator. It is transferred through this mediator. So what is a mediator? Mediator is basically a variable through which the effect of independent variable transfers to the dependent variable. Now, when we conceptualize such a simple mediation diagram, we can have the mediator as a continuous variable. It could be a continuous variable or it could be a categorical variable. Continuous mean it is measured on interval scale or ratio scale. Categorical means it may be nominal, like gender, male and female, having two categories. So what treatment we have to do in case of a continuous variable? What treatment we have to do in case of categorical mediator? In smart PLS. Now the operations differ a little in smart PLS 3 and version 4. As version 4 is the latest one, the procedure is a little bit easy, but you can also conduct the same analysis quite quickly and easily in smart PLS 3 as well. So don't worry if you don't have the 4 version, you can do it easily in smart PLS 3. Say the independent variable is study hours, the number of hours being put by a student to study. The mediator is conceptual understanding. So whether the student understood or not, this is conceptual understanding. And dependent variables is marks secured in the test. So if you say that study hours affect the marks secured by the student, ideally they cannot affect directly. Yes, there could be some little direct effect, but if we take conceptual understanding as a mediator, as per the theoretical understanding of your topic, the theory suggests, if the theory suggests that there has to be a mediator, which is conceptual understanding, which mediates the relationship between study hours and the marks secured by the student, you take this as a mediator, conceptual understanding, which may be marked on a Likert 7-point scale, Likert 5-point scale. You can do mediation in Process Macro, Smart PLS, Adanco. Lot many softwares are available, but it is important to understand the concept so that you can easily conduct it in any of the softwares. If this is our model, IV, mediator and DV, right? So this is known as direct effect, and these are known as indirect effect. Basically, indirect effect is the multiplicative effect of path A and path B. This is path C. Direct effect is path C. So when you multiply the path coefficient A with path coefficient B, you get a certain value. We have to check whether this value is statistically significant. Which we assess if the t value which is given to us by the software is greater than plus minus 1.96. Second is we look in for the p value. P value has to be less than 0.05 because we are conducting the test as 95% confidence interval. 95% confidence interval. These two things we check through the bootstrapping results. We check it through the bootstrap results. So you have to run the bootstrapping option with at least 5,000 samples. Recommended is 10,000. The procedure I'll explain to you in Smart PLS 3. I'll make a video very soon, but in this video lecture it is important to understand first the concept and then the operation, how to actually do it. You will be able to understand easily when I go to Smart PLS 3 software and show you the interface. So when we run the bootstrapping procedure, it collects several samples from your data, 5,000, 10,000 samples, and conducts the test on those samples, randomly generated samples, wherein we check whether this path coefficient multiplied effect, indirect effect, is significant or not. Now, what to do? Similarly, we get an idea of direct effect through bootstrapping, that direct effect is significant or not. In case the indirect effect is insignificant and direct effect is significant, then there is no mediation, right? No mediation. In case direct effect and indirect effect both are significant, then means complementary mediation. We call it complementary mediation. In case one of the effect, either it could be direct or indirect, moves in opposite direction, say this A multiplied by B gives you something which is in minus, that means it moves in opposite direction. It negatively affects the dependent variable when it comes into the model as a mediator. But direct effect shows a positive effect. It shows a positive effect. One of it is negative, one of it is positive. We call it competitive mediation. We call it competitive mediation. If direct effect is insignificant and indirect effect is significant, we call it full mediation, right? We call it full mediation. And in case both of them, the indirect and the direct effect, both come out to be insignificant, we say there's no effect. And this conceptualized model has no effect. It means there's no effect of independent variable on DV. The mediator is continuous in nature. It is measured using continuous variable, or it is categorical in nature, right? So it is effect through the indirect effects, which I told you right now, how to assess the indirect effect and find out which type of mediation it is. And if it is categorical, you will have to create dummy variables, right? Say for example, the categorical variable mediator was gender. It has two categories, male and female. So you make how many dummy variables? The formula is k minus 1. Number of categories k minus 1. So number of categories are 2 over here, 2 male and female. 2 minus 1 is 1. So you make one dummy variable. How actually you make this dummy variable? I have a video on the channel. You might like to go back and check how to make this dummy variable from a categorical variable in SPSS. You can also do it in Excel. So basically what does dummy variable mean? It means that those two categories are coded as 0 and 1. Okay, so if we are talking about male category and these are all the responses, so what will happen? The people who are male will be coded as 1 and the respondents which are female will be coded as 0. This is what you mean by dummy coding. Now we'll take this variable and we'll assess it, we'll put it in the model as a mediator. And female will act as a reference category. So in this case, female which is coded as 0 will act as a reference category against which you compare the results. So this is how you do it in case of categorical, and I've already explained to you how you do it in case of continuous variable. So this was about mediation. In the next video, I'll explain you moderation. I hope you liked the video and it definitely made some sense out of it so that you can easily conduct this operation in any of the PLS SEM softwares available right there. First, you need to understand the concept. Thanks a lot.